Okay guys, we are on chapter 4, level 4, Forest. Now, if you're playing on Nightmare difficulty or lower, then you won't get to play this level. This level is exclusive to Trauma, and if you are playing on the Nightmare difficulty or lower, then you will move straight on to the next level. So this is kind of like a bonus level for people who decide to play Trauma, and this level does not pull its punches. This is probably the second hardest level in the game, and as you can see, I am basically shooting like a crazy madman, and you need to. This level is rough. The tarot card condition of this level is do not use any tarot cards. Well, guess what? I'm not using tarot cards. I haven't been using tarot cards for the entire playthrough, so this shouldn't be too difficult. Like, if you can get through Babel without tarot cards, then you should be able to get through this without tarot cards. But it's still going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, so you want to be ready for that. In any case, yes, you want to make sure that you can plow through the first load of enemies, use the freezer on the big vamps, and there are also big bones. I call them big bones because they're larger versions of bones, so you want to deal with them. There's also witches, they make a return. Yes, the big bones, like I mentioned, they are actually big enough to shoot them with the shotgun this time around, so you can actually use the shotgun to deal with them if you want, and it's effective, so you might want to actually use that in this level, because they're big enough to be killed by the shotgun. But you can also use the rocket launcher, and it's probably the best way to deal with them because they're usually in large groups. So yes, the challenge of this level is mainly dealing with like the terrain and knowing the path around the map, so that you don't get stuck and you don't get screwed over by enemies. And it's very easy to get trapped in the environment. I mean, it is a forest, but they do have a clear route for you to go along to bunny hop, so you just got to learn that route, and it's just like learning to avoid the trees and dodge the enemies, and just, yeah, keeping away from the local fauna in the form of big bones and big vamps. Well, yeah, they're big vamps and they're nothing new. They're just the same guys you fought back in Catacombs of all things, whereas big bones, I don't actually know if they're called big bones, but that's what I like to call them because they're bigger versions of regular bones, so you can shoot them with the shotgun. But yes, you really want to use the shotgun freezer and the rocket launcher chaingun a lot in this level. Those are the two most important weapons in this level. The Electrodriver doesn't really get much ammo, so you can't really use that much, and the Stakegun doesn't really get much use in this level. This is all out shotgun, chaingun, and rocket launcher, but mostly shotgun rocket launcher. So yeah, that's basically the gist of this level, and it is really fast paced. In fact, you could probably say that this level is the ultimate Painkiller challenge, because the tarot card condition is don't use tarot cards, and they throw some simple enemies at you, but they overwhelm you with a ton of them, and that's basically what Painkiller is all about, like throwing a ton of idiotic enemies at you, and you have to deal with them, and that's what Painkiller is all about. So yeah, it's all about being overwhelmed, and this level loves to overwhelm you with tons of enemies. And it's not the most open of areas either. It's not like military base where you have these huge open areas. It's not the most cramped area either, so you really do have a lot of room to bunny hop. You just have to be very careful when you're bunny hopping, and you want to make sure that you're not walking into things, and be aware of your surroundings. This level is all about awareness, ultimately. And stopping power does play a part in this level, but awareness takes priority, as you really do want to be aware of your surroundings, as the enemies are pretty slow with their attacks aside from the bones. Like, they're very fast, but they don't have ranged attacks unless you kill them, so where they'll use their head as a weapon when they explode, or they take enough damage, they'll throw their head at you, which is a ranged attack, but that's only when you attack them. So basically you can kind of play this level kind of like you played Town and other levels like it, in the sense that it's more about kind of like avoiding enemies and keeping out of their way whilst firing like well-placed shots at them. And you really do want to be careful with your ammo. As you can see, the witches up there, yeah, you want ammo to deal with those bitches, because they are bitches. So yeah, I was trying to come up with something better, but yeah, that's probably the best word to describe them. But yes, like as I say, you want to use the rockets to deal with them, and the shotgun to deal with the big vamps. But there's tons of enemies, and you're in a really open area, but you've also got a lot of trees around that you want to avoid, and you've got to move along a set path and avoid enemies. So yeah, this is an awareness level for the most part, but you just have to be aware of those big vamps, and you're really having to deal with a lot of different enemies in one area. You have to also be aware of the witches, because they'll shoot fireballs at you as well. So yeah, it's pretty chaotic, really, despite the fact that the enemies are so simple. Like, these are enemies, like, aside from the bones, these are enemies that we fought in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. So, yeah, it's pretty straightforward on paper, but it's not, because, as we know, this is Painkiller, and you're going to be fighting tons of these guys. So, yeah. As you can see there, he was about to, like, he just threw his head, and you can tell when they've just thrown their head because they kind of, like, set their body on fire. You don't want to get hit by any of that, because, yeah, it's not nice. Anyways, yeah, it's difficult to tell when all of the bones are dead, so you really want to be aware of them. Like, they can appear at any moment, but once you've dealt with most of them, then you want, yeah, as you can see here, there's still a bones left. But yes, once you've dealt with them, you want to focus on the witches. And if I can focus on the witches, like, come on. Yeah, he was about to throw his head at me, and he failed. Yeah, I just want to get to the witches, guys. Just let me get to the witches. And that's going to be hard enough job to deal with, those witches. So yeah, I just want to get rid of those bones very quickly so that I can deal with them. But the witches themselves are a pain in the ass to deal with, and you're going to find out why that is. Because, just check out the speed of these witches. Just look at how fast they're moving. Like, you can see the compass. Like, the moment that you see the compass, like, changing directions wildly, you know that there's only witches left over. So, yeah, you want to shoot them with the shotgun or the chain gun, depending on the situation. If they're near you, which is quite fortunate if they are, then you can use the shotgun. And they like to spin around, and when they spin around they slow down, and that's a good chance for you to hit them, because otherwise you're going to have a hard time. And yeah, it's all about just shooting them and praying that actually, like, kills them. It's going to take some time, and yeah, these witches, like, pretty much this level is filled with all the annoying enemies in Painkiller. Like, they throw in bones and witches in a single level, which is really annoying, because witches and bones are easily the two most annoying enemies in this game. So yeah, it's a pain in the neck, but it's nothing that we can't get through at this point. Like, we've survived Babel, we've survived Chapter 3, we should be able to survive these witches, as they're not too much of a threat themselves, they're just difficult to get rid of, and in a game where you have to kill absolutely everything, these enemies are easily one of the most annoying, because you have to kill them, but eventually you will kill them. It just takes some time. Like, it's as if they have lots of HP, but they don't have a lot of health. It's just that dealing with them is a pain in the neck, as they're in the air and they move super fast. And because of their super speed that they have in this level, which they don't have in the town level, you could argue that makes them a different variant of witch, I suppose, but it makes them even tougher. And yeah, their fireballs are still difficult to deal with, and they, while you can see them coming kind of, like, because once they've shot their fireball, they won't shoot the fireball, as you can see there. And they will have, like, a small animation where they're about to throw it, but it's very difficult to notice, and they shoot it very quickly. So yeah, it's quite quite difficult to avoid, especially when there's tons of them around and you want to deal with like one witch but the other witch hits you with the fireball. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. There's really no easy way of dealing with these witches, I'm afraid. They are just a pain in the neck because they move so quickly and they're so difficult to hit. And because they're so far away, using the shotgun isn't always the best way, but it's also difficult to hit them with the chaingun because the chaingun in this game is all about precision. But at the same time, like, you only get like a small, like, you get a small window of chance to hit them with the chaingun, and yeah, it's a pain. As for the Electrodriver, well, it's mid-range and these witches are pretty far away. And the Stakegun, well, you saw how well that went in town. Like, they were bad enough in town, but in this level they move even faster. Do you really think that the stakes are really going to do anything to them? And believe me, I do try the stakes, and yeah, as you can see here, I bring out the Stakegun foolishly, believing that I can actually hit them, and I can't because they move super quick, and the velocity of the Stakegun just can't keep up with them. They just move super quick, so the Stakegun is useless against them. And that leaves you with the shotgun and the chaingun as your only viable options. I actually remember killing one of them with the Painkiller once because I ran out of ammo and I used the Painkiller laser to try and kill them, and I tried to basically just rapidly spam the Painkiller warhead in hopes that they'd run into the laser, and fortunately they did. It took a while though, but that's a thing that happened like ages ago. So yeah, it was a rough time because I don't know, I think I was trying to get my tarot card because I did at one point lose all of my data for Painkiller, and it was mainly because I installed Battle Out of Hell and it like wiped all my data off my hard drive of Painkiller, so I had to get it back, and I reinstalled the original Painkiller, and yeah, I had to get it back. So what I did was I went and did this level to get the tarot card back, and it was a pain in the neck because I had to do it without using tarot cards at all, and yeah, basically what I'm doing now. So you can imagine the frustration of losing all my data and having to redo this level. Yeah, it wasn't fun. As fun as this game is, redoing things, I don't care how fun it is to play the game, it's never fun to have to redo things. But yeah, you get a quad damage, and the best thing you do, like, the best thing to do here is to shoot that giant mound of bones before they appear, because yeah, you can shoot rockets at them. Anyways, as you can see, the Vamps are best dealt with the rocket launcher because, well, they're kind of a pain, and when you have quad damage, it's enough to deal decent damage to them. And it's just faster than popping out, like, bringing out the shotgun all the time. But yeah, I just got hit by one of the witch's fireballs. God, they're annoying. But yes, there's plenty to kill here, and you really want to be careful of the witch's fireballs because it's difficult to avoid them in this arena. But your main concern is dealing with all the Vamps and the bones, because there's tons of them. Like, look at all those Vamps literally littered everywhere, and you have to just blow all of them up. Like, it's intense as this level. This level is crazy intense. Like, this level will keep you on your toes the whole time. Like, it really will. This level was just intense to play through, but that's what this level's all about. Fortunately, we get some more shotgun ammo, and we're going to need it to deal with these things, because these witches, because, well, I mean, you can use the chaingun, but the shotgun just has more, like, it has more punch to it, and, like, if they're close enough, you can deal some decent damage to them, like I did there, as you can see there. And yeah, just got to deal with these witches now, and it's going to be a pain. Like, this level, for the most part, once you deal with the large hordes of enemies, it's all about dealing with the witches. The witches are the real challenge of this level, really. Like, the rest of them are just fodder. While they can be quite annoying to deal with, they are still just cannon fodder. Anyways, once this, I don't even know what to call it, like, it's like a, like, barricade. Once the barricade breaks, a new enemy will appear. These are fallen angels. Now, fallen angels are a form of black demon, just like the Templars, in the sense that they cannot be frozen, so they're immune to freeze. So the best way of dealing with them, well, you can use the Electrodriver, but you don't really have much ammo for it. So I would personally use the Stakegun against them, simply because when you shoot a Stakegun from afar, it sets on fire, and that means it deals more damage. But at the same time, because you won't be using much Stakegun, like, you won't be Stakegunning much in this level, so you might as well use the Stakegun and deal with them that way. But yeah, when you shoot from, like, far away, you deal more damage. So yeah, they are pretty tough, they have a lot of health, but they're actually the easiest enemies in this level because they're very slow, and yes, they do shoot fireballs, but they're very easy to see coming, so yeah, because of their animation, so you know how to, like, dodge out of the way. They're actually an easier version, to me, of the Executioners in the previous level. But yeah, they can't be killed in one hit. Whereas the Executioners were kind of like glass cannons, which is kind of silly to call them that because they are pretty defensive if you don't have freezing ammo. Those guys are very tanky, but easy to deal with. And now it's just dealing with these nefarious witches. And yeah, they're just a pain to deal with. Like, I really should be using the Chaingun, but I keep trying my luck with the shotgun. And what I like to do is go back here, because when they appear again they'll shoot fireball, and yeah, I just got that one. That was really lucky. And so I bring out the Chaingun to try and deal with this last witch. And yeah, I just want to get it over with, and yes, the level's over. So yeah, that's it guys. I'll see you next time for the final level of Trauma.